All right, so I feel like turn the machine on. I use a wired connection because I wasn't able to get the Bluetooth to work reliably. Plug her in. It says disconnected here. And I always feel like there's a little trick. It's been a little while since I've done it. Devices. And then you click USB. I think sometimes it'll give you the option for Bluetooth, but I don't know. I haven't been able to get Bluetooth to work. And then I feel like I had an issue at the beginning with here. So start from, I feel like the default was maybe user origin or current position. So I just click this. I don't really know what it means, but it always does a good job. And then that's the only option there. So then the laser should be in this position. If it's not, I think if you just hit home, it'll like settle itself down. And then you should be able to kind of work with the system and play with it and figure out what to do with it. So I can make it move by hitting Option L and then picking a place, I'm pretty sure, on this platform to get it to go there, and then it should go there. And it's not being a laser right now. This is how I figure out if it's in the right position, like for the board, because I have to center the board, and then I'll send it back home. So like if I had a board on it, I could show you. I will even move this around to make sure that this piece doesn't get stuck on what you're working on, because you want it as low as possible without hitting. So I actually usually will undo this screw, put this tiny little piece in, let it fall, tighten that screw real good, and then take this out so that it's as low as it can be without actually catching on anything. So once I feel like it's not catching on anything, because sometimes I work with higher items, I'll put it back, it'll beep or whatever, I'll hit home, and I'll do my thing. So if I open, see if I can open a file. So I'll open the Surf Fast Track board. So if I open this, it will run this when I hit go. I'll usually want to center it by Option L and clicking on it and seeing if it's in the center of the board. I kind of do that for the edges to make sure that the laser won't go over the board. Then I go home. And then there's a cool button up here. I think it's this TV. You can see its moves and what it's going to do and how long it's going to take. So if you press play here, it kind of does its thing, blah, blah, blah. That's what it's going to look like. And it will take about 25 minutes. It's usually a little bit longer than that. The other things you're going to need to know, let's see. If you go to cuts in layers here, this is going to be important. This one's like a little bit more complicated, but you'll need to play with the speed and the power. So I feel like on my boards on this type of wood, to get this kind of cut, which isn't super thick, but it's dark enough to paint right up to, and there is a little bit of a hole there. The perfect kind of setting for that, this is an old board, so I'm not even sure. So the holes are 1,000 at 100. So they're not quite as deep. I want to say it's 480. Let me see if I can open another one. But you can see I just have it on this platform. And I literally screwed it to this platform. And for the most part, that hasn't been an issue until I've wanted to do something that it got in the way, but there are very few things. And then if I've wanted to like cut through something like this, I've played around with it a little bit and I've put something just to elevate this, and then you elevate the laser. So I feel like my perfect speed, let's see, it should be, this one should be all the same speed. So that shape is 480. So that's what gets me like something like this. But you can like kind of keep testing. Like I think I have a board in here that I did a bunch of tests on. And it depends on the type of wood. So I just kind of did a bunch of tests because it also kind of depends on if you're filling in the image or if you're like tracing around the image. And then you could just see I wrote like the speed and the percentage of power. But then once you hit start, it'll actually start the laser. And then don't look at it.